So it's basically schooling children, to sort of look at cinema in a very creative way. So it's kind of thinking about the future generation of filmmakers and film audiences as well. And it's also giving money to distributors, to the promotion of Polish cinema. So it's a very complex, overall strategy, which has proved to be working very well.
Would you say it was easier to make films now than when you first made Walkover in 1965?
It is easier, and it's much more fair, because we are not the subject of any political pressures, At the era of the communism, we were trying to maneuver in between the lines of censorship. Now there's a complete freedom, obviously, and the fairness of decisions taken by the Polish Film Institute lies on the fact that it's the
committees are comprised of the filmmakers themselves, screenwriters, writers, editors,
professionals, not the politicians,
colleagues.
not the social worker. No, it's just the industry itself. So it's really very well organized.
And collaborations are also encouraged. I mean, it's a Polish-Irish production piece, so, and you filmed some of the internal shots in Dublin.
Right. Yes.
Right, yeah.
So, can I ask something about the film now?
Please.
The themes of the film. There is this, you film it from every possible camera that is available today. So every sort of image there is today, from the tablet to the original drawings. So, and the final shot is something like something that I would interpret is surveillance now the all-knowing divinity that knows everything. Is that
obviously this is one of the messages of this film? But I treat this film like a poem, I'm using metaphors and I don't want to put them into exact words. Poem is a poem, so everyone could read its metaphors and symbols its own way. But yes, you're right. This is one of the subjects of the film.
But you do have a clear image of a man in a suit, in a computer.
Well, this is how our life looks like now, and either we feel comfortable with it or we don't. I don't, but there are people who enjoy all those Facebooks and things, this is their way of executing life.
And why 11 minutes?
Why?
Why 11 minutes?
When I started this project, I only had an idea for the finale. I practically had a vision, what could happen. But I didn't know who are the protagonists, who are the people. I only had this, and I thought this would be wonderful end for some film. So in order to make the film, I had to work backwards and create the palette of the characters, establish where they are in the different parts of town, and get them together at that very same time to that very place. So I thought, okay, I will have probably 8 or 9 little stories told within that short time before the finale. So I thought, having 8 or 9 stories, each of them, if takes around 10 minutes, it will be just 90 minutes film plus finale. That's perfect size. So I knew that the number has to be close to 10. 10 as a number is too rounded and has also the connotations of 10 commandments, or 12 the same, 12 apostles.
12 months.
Very Catholic.
Yeah, 12 months, 13 is it will be too significant. So 11 was the choice, especially that aesthetically speaking, this is the nicest number. 11.
And the hotel room and the floor.
What's your relationship with working in England?
Sorry, what?
Since Deep End, you have made a lot of films in England. Is that something that you enjoy?
But sorry, what is the question? That
Since your relationship with the UK?
with UK? Yeah, no. I lived here for many years, and I enjoyed being here in England. I managed to cut the best years. I enjoyed being the part of the King Street crowd, you know, wearing long hippies hair, you know.
In the 60s?
Yeah, in the 60s. And then later on, yeah, I made those British films. Some of them were voted the best British films of the year, like Moonlighting got the Evening Standard Award in 1982. You know, Prince Charles was shaking my hand, Queen was shaking my hand. I felt fine, you know, it was a good time. Then I had to leave London, I went to Hollywood, and now I'm back from time to time. I always enjoy coming to London. It's a part of my life.
Because you have so many stories.
What's this?
Cream cheese with salmon.
Can I?
That's the question.
Sorry.
My question was, you have so many different stories. There's no one lead actor or actress. How easy is it to ask actors to be involved when they're not going to be the star of the film? Which is one. How do you get actors involved when they are not going to be the lead main star?
I'm honest with them, you know. I said I have 8 stories and 15 characters, and you would be one of the 15. So, and they all gladly accept. They don't. Well, there was a little bit of a fight who is on the top of the cast, you know. But everyone was reasonable and understood each other's needs, and we had a very good cast, you know. Those are the top Polish actors. We have Richard Dormer, one of the best Irish actors, excellent in the part he's playing. I'm very happy with him. He has done his own stunts. Can you imagine?
Really?
Well, it looks different, you know, when you see the guy going down. And you see that this is him, not the stuntman who is just covering his face, and for a glimpse you cut shortly to have a face of the actor. No, it's him falling and falling and falling, and we can look at him. He reacts. Yeah.
You work a lot with Jeremy Thomas. Tell us about that. When you finish your
Yeah.
I need a napkin. Sorry. Yes, we work on The Shout in 1978.
It's Jeremy's second film, yes?
That was Jeremy's second. He approached me, being very young. I was already well established, so he proposed the idea. I immediately accepted. We worked very smoothly. We shot the film, I think, in like 22 days on locations in Devon. It was the smoothest ever work on the film I had. Jeremy is a really wonderful producer. He understands the film like no one else. He is.
I feel offended, actually. It just felt like a sting.
Well, you're just next. You're just next to him. But you know, comparing to the other people I've worked with, Jeremy is really great. You know, is a filmmaker himself. He directed the film, so he knows the job inside out, and that's always pleasure to work with.
Would you be interested in going back to Hollywood to direct something, or do you think that now it's all done?
To go back where?
To Hollywood.
Hollywood is not for me. Although we already had a question about a remake of 11 Minutes from Hollywood.
How's the film been received in Poland?
Hasn't been received yet, because the opening night we have on the
21st of October.
23rd of October. It was just a couple of screenings. The public, got it very well.
There's a few Polish journalists who went to Venice and reviewed the film, so these were very good reviews.
Excellent.
But then the film was screened in Gdynia, and there was a couple of very bad ones as well. So I think it's a very divisive film. There is no in between. There is no lukewarm reviews. It's either absolute love or like a really passionate hate.
Why the passionate hate?
There's one journalist which is like working on the internet who said that it's just like a big bubble, this film, that it's about nothing, it doesn't mean anything, and it's not new, and that the films like that were done before, like Magnolia, like Altman, and there's nothing new about it. Which,
It's very surprising.
But that was the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you only remember the bad reviews though, don't you? Usually.
Oh yes, I have them pasted up on my, desktop in my computer.
But technically and narratively speaking, it's brilliant.
It's fresh and modern,
Yeah, and I think it works on a very different level than those films, because those films were trying to build a narrative stories, and this one, the tension is not within the stories themselves, but kind of underneath in the texture of the filmmaking, which was never present in those films. So, yeah.
You said you worked backwards. You had the ending first.
Yeah.
So when you worked backwards, did it flow easily for you? Did the stories come easily as to how you got to that ending?
Well, I can't say it was easy or difficult. I knew that I had to do this job in order to have finale. So it is a very unusual way of working, obviously. But I don't know if it was helping or not helping or make it more difficult. In a way, it already organized my work. I knew, okay, so many people, those places, now I have to use my imagination how to get them. So when I have a courier on a bike, it's easy, because of course he would go to one client, second client, then arrive here, okay, done. Then the hot dog seller, okay, he should be working in the neighborhood, and in a certain moment, for certain reason, he has to move his chart here. Done. A wife who comes for the audition, and the husband who follows. Done. More problem was with the painter, with the little boy, how to get them. But using imagination and knowing, where am I, the frame, is then fulfilling the frame simply.
I've read somewhere the word describing it as fatalistic. Would you agree with that?
That it was?
Fatalistic. Fatalism. Would you agree with that?
In a way, yes. Yeah, well,